My beloved child, before you decide that this message is not meant for you, stay with me for a moment. There is a silence that no one around you has been able to understand. Someone connected to your heart has been carrying a weight they never wanted you to see. Every smile they have shown, every calm response they have given, has hidden a struggle that words could never fully explain. They wanted to protect you from their pain, believing that if they spoke too soon, they might lose the very connection they cherished the most. But something has shifted. The walls they built around their emotions are beginning to crack, and the truth can no longer remain hidden. As this unfolds, clarity will come. What you are about to hear is not about blame or regret. It is about understanding why their actions have never matched what their heart truly feels. Something huge is waiting for you, and the next few moments may reveal a side of this connection that has remained invisible until now. There were countless nights when they replayed every conversation with you, wondering if they should finally tell you everything. They came close more times than you could imagine. They opened a message, typed a confession, then erased every single word because fear convinced them that honesty might push you away forever. Deep inside, they have been suffering from an overwhelming emotional burden that they believed they had to face alone. They have smiled in front of others while silently questioning whether they deserved happiness at all. Every delayed reply, every moment of distance, every unexplained silence carried a meaning you were never allowed to see. This may resonate as we continue, because sometimes the loudest cries are the ones no ears can hear. The truth is not that they stopped caring. The truth is that they cared so deeply that they became afraid of becoming a burden to the one person they never wanted to disappoint. What makes this even more surprising is that their greatest struggle has never been against the outside world, it has been against their own thoughts. They have been fighting invisible doubts that whispered they were not enough, that they would only bring complications into your life. Instead of asking for your support, they convinced themselves that hiding everything was an act of love. But every hidden emotion creates another unanswered question, and every unanswered question builds another wall between two hearts. Yet those walls are beginning to fall. Small signs have already started appearing, signs you may have ignored because they seemed ordinary at the time. Looking back, you may realize that nothing was ordinary at all. Every coincidence, every unexpected pause, every strange feeling was quietly leading to this very moment. The remarkable part is that they never expected their silence to last this long. They believed time would heal everything without needing a conversation. Instead, time only made their feelings stronger and their secret heavier. They have reached a point where pretending is becoming impossible. Somewhere inside, they are hoping that understanding will arrive before another misunderstanding does. They are hoping that when the truth finally reaches you, it will not be seen as weakness but as proof of how deeply this connection has always mattered. The story is changing now, not because fate suddenly appeared, but because hidden emotions cannot remain hidden forever. Every chapter of silence eventually reaches the page where honesty begins. So before you leave this message behind, remember this one thought. Not every distant heart is uncaring, and not every quiet soul is emotionally absent. Sometimes the strongest people are simply carrying battles they never wanted anyone else to fight. Their suffering has remained hidden, but it has never erased the place you hold in their heart. The next chapter of this story is closer than it has ever been, and when that moment arrives, many unanswered questions may finally make perfect sense. Until then, keep your heart open, because the truth they could never say to your face may be much closer to finding its voice than either of you ever imagined. There is one detail they have never been able to admit, and it explains why everything has felt so confusing. Stay with me for a moment, because what happens next changes the entire meaning of their silence. They are not hiding because they do not care. They are hiding because they fear that if you truly saw the struggle inside them, you would see them differently. Every time they imagined opening their heart, another voice inside reminded them of old disappointments, broken trust, and moments when they felt misunderstood. So instead of reaching toward you, they stepped back. Instead of asking for reassurance, they chose quiet. As this unfolds, clarity will come, because the distance you noticed was never created by a lack of love, it was created by an invisible battle they believed they had to win alone. Something unexpected has started happening, though. The burden they have carried for so long is becoming too heavy to keep hidden. Small reminders of you have begun breaking through the walls they built around themselves. A familiar place, a random memory, or even a simple moment of silence suddenly brings your presence into their thoughts. They have realized that running from their emotions has not brought them peace. It has only made them wonder how different everything could have been if they had trusted their heart instead of their fears. This may resonate as we continue, because sometimes the greatest turning point begins quietly, long before anyone else can see it. Something huge is waiting for you, and they are closer than ever to choosing honesty over fear. If this message has touched something within you, take a moment to share this video with someone who might need these words today. And if you're enjoying this journey, subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. The story is only beginning to unfold. What lies ahead is not just another chapter, it is the moment when hidden emotions begin finding their way into the light. Their silence is slowly transforming into courage, and with every passing day, the truth becomes harder to keep inside. The most remarkable part is still ahead. They have started realizing that protecting you by hiding their pain may have created even more distance between your hearts. That realization has changed everything. They no longer want to be remembered as someone who stayed silent when honesty could have brought understanding. The next step they take may surprise even them, because it will require more courage than they have shown in a very long time. They are standing at the edge of a decision that could reshape this connection forever. Before this chapter closes, remember one thing: not every answer arrives the moment we ask for it. Some truths need time before they are ready to be revealed. The silence is beginning to lose its power, and the truth is beginning to find its voice. What they have been suffering from has never defined who they are, it has only delayed what their heart has wanted to say all along. And in the next chapter, a hidden realization will emerge that neither of you saw coming. A quiet shift has already begun, even if no one else can see it. Stay with me for a moment, because this is where the hidden pieces finally begin connecting. For the longest time, they believed silence was the safest choice. They convinced themselves that if they kept their emotions locked away, they could protect both their heart and yours. But every day that passed made one truth impossible to ignore. The feelings they tried so hard to hide never disappeared, they only became stronger. As this unfolds, clarity will come. What once looked like distance is slowly revealing itself as an unanswered story that has been waiting for the right moment to be understood. The surprising part is that they have started noticing signs they once ignored. Moments that seemed ordinary now feel deeply meaningful. A familiar memory suddenly returns without warning. A thought of you appears in the middle of a busy day. A feeling they tried to bury keeps finding its way back to the surface. These moments have forced them to ask a question they avoided for far too long: what if staying silent has been the biggest mistake of all? That question has remained in their mind, growing stronger with each passing day. This may resonate as we continue, because sometimes the greatest revelations begin with a single honest question. Something huge is waiting for you, and they can no longer pretend that nothing has changed inside them. There is another truth they have never spoken aloud. More than anything else, they fear that too much time has already passed. They wonder if the opportunity to explain themselves has slipped away forever. Yet every time that fear appears, another feeling quietly rises above it, the hope that genuine understanding is still possible. That hope is becoming impossible to ignore. It reminds them that real connections are not measured by perfect timing but by sincere hearts willing to face the truth. The emotional weight they carried alone is beginning to feel lighter, simply because they are no longer running from it. Now they find themselves standing between two paths. One path leads back into silence, where nothing changes and every unanswered question remains exactly as it is. The other path leads toward honesty, even though it feels uncertain. For the first time in a long while, they are beginning to believe that being vulnerable may be stronger than pretending everything is fine. That realization is changing the way they see this connection. They are no longer focused on what they might lose. They are beginning to think about what could finally be restored if the truth is allowed to speak. As this chapter comes to an end, remember this: some hearts stay quiet not because they have nothing to say, but because they are waiting for the courage to say it. Their hidden struggle has shaped every decision they made, but it will not shape every decision they make from this moment forward. The next chapter brings the moment they never thought they would be ready for. A choice that could finally replace silence with honesty and reveal what has been hidden all along. Everything has been leading to this moment. Stay with me for a moment, because the silence that once protected them is no longer giving them peace. Instead, it has become a reminder of everything they never said. Every memory of you now carries the same question in their heart: what if I had simply been honest? That single thought has followed them everywhere. As this unfolds, clarity will come. The struggle they have been hiding is no longer just about fear, it is about realizing that some connections are too meaningful to be left behind without trying. Something huge is waiting for you, because they are standing closer than ever to making a decision they once believed was impossible. What makes this so unexpected is that they have finally stopped blaming circumstances. For a long time, they believed life, timing, or distance was the reason nothing moved forward. But deep inside, they now understand that the greatest obstacle was the wall they built around their own emotions. The moment this realization arrived, everything began to change. Instead of asking, What if I fail? They started asking, what if this is my last chance to be truthful? That simple shift has given them a courage they never knew they had. This may resonate as we continue, because sometimes the biggest transformation happens quietly, long before anyone else notices it. If these words have stayed with you until now, share this video with someone who may need to hear this message today. And if you've been enjoying this journey, subscribe so you don't miss the final chapter. Every part has been building toward a single revelation, and the ending brings the answer that has been hidden from the very beginning. Now the final pieces are beginning to fall into place. They are no longer searching for the perfect moment or the perfect words. They have realized that sincerity matters more than perfection. The burden they carried in silence has taught them something unexpected, that genuine feelings become stronger when they are no longer hidden. The fear that once controlled every step is slowly losing its power, replaced by a quiet hope that understanding is still possible. They know they cannot change the past, but they can choose what they do next, and that choice may shape everything that follows. Before this chapter closes, hold on to one thought. Every meaningful story reaches a point where silence can no longer write the ending. Their hidden struggle has brought them to that exact place. The next step belongs to honesty, and the final chapter will reveal why this journey had to unfold exactly the way it did. What has remained unseen until now is about to make perfect sense, and the truth waiting at the end may be the one thing neither of you expected. At last, the moment they have been avoiding for so long is finally here. Stay with me for a moment, because every unanswered question has been leading to this final revelation. The truth is far simpler than anyone imagined, yet far more powerful. They were never hiding their feelings because they were uncertain about you. They were hiding because they were uncertain about themselves. Every doubt, every hesitation, every silent moment came from a fear that they might never be enough. As this unfolds, clarity will come. The burden they carried was not the absence of love, it was the weight of believing they had to face every challenge alone. Something huge is waiting for you, because understanding this changes the entire story. Now they see everything from a different perspective. They understand that real connections are not built on perfection. They grow through honesty, patience, and the courage to be seen as we truly are. The walls they spent so much time building no longer feel necessary. Instead of protecting them, those walls only kept them away from the one conversation they wished they had the courage to begin. This may resonate as we continue, because the greatest breakthroughs often arrive after the longest seasons of silence. Their heart is no longer asking whether they should speak. It is asking why they waited so long. The once hidden struggle has become an unexpected source of strength. It has taught them compassion, resilience, and the value of genuine connection. They have realized that vulnerability is not a weakness but a sign of trust. Whether the next conversation happens tomorrow or sometime later, one thing has already changed forever. They are no longer running from the truth. They are ready to let honesty replace fear, one step at a time. That quiet decision is more powerful than any dramatic moment because it comes from a heart that has finally chosen hope over hesitation. Looking back, every delay, every misunderstanding, and every unanswered question now serves a purpose. Each moment became part of a journey that led to greater understanding. Sometimes life doesn't reveal answers immediately because it is preparing us to receive them with wisdom instead of impatience. What once felt like distance may one day be remembered as the path that helped two hearts grow in ways they never expected. The silence was never the ending, it was simply the chapter before clarity arrived. And as this story reaches its close, remember this: the most meaningful truths rarely arrive with noise. They arrive quietly, changing everything without asking for attention. The person who could not say these words face to face has been carrying a heart full of unspoken emotions, hoping that one day they would find the courage to let them be known. Whether this message reminds you of someone special or simply encourages you to value honesty in your own relationships, let it leave you with one lasting thought: sometimes the greatest gift we can offer another person is the courage to replace silence with sincerity. And when that happens, even the longest hidden struggles begin to lose their power, making room for a new beginning built on understanding, hope, and truth.